Alright, we rolling.
Shalom.
Yahya once again. All praises to
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash.
So, I was thinking about going into some news, headlines, things of that sort. So, we hear about how that war over there on that side of the world is escalating, right? So they say that Iran's supposed to retaliate pretty much any day now. And they said that they want the level of suspense to get in the people's heads, the enemy's heads. Because, think about it. If you did something to somebody and you know that they really want their get back, it messes with you psychologically, because it's like, damn, I gotta keep my head on the swivel.
Yeah.
And at any time, they can come for me. So you gotta see what's gonna happen within the next couple days or weeks. You know what I mean?
Or they may feel like, all right, I ain't gonna wait for them to hit me, I'm gonna hit them first. Who knows how to play out.
Joel 3 and 9 came to my mind? 2 and 9?
Joel 2 and 9.
Yeah, Joel 2 and 9.
This is Joel chapter 2, verse 9. It says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heathen shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Yeah, so that's the verse that I wanted. Because ultimately, what's going to happen is there's going to be a world war that breaks out, and we're seeing the beginning of it. This is just the beginning. You know what I mean? Sooner or later, it's going to go nuclear. So once it goes nuclear, missiles get shot, then that's when we're talking about no way back from that. No way back. Because the Bible prophesies about how this place, Babylon, is going to be wiped out by thermonuclear destruction. And it just so happens that Babylon is one of the allies of that country over there. They send millions and billions of dollars to them every year, all the time. All this type of aid. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you got people over here in the U.S. soil that are struggling and homeless.
Right.
So people get tired and fed up with what's happening in the world.
Continue.
Yeah, keep going.
And this is the Joel 2 and 11. And the Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that exalteth his word. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it?
So the day of the Most High is great and it's terrible. It's going to be great for us, the Israelites. But it's going to be bad for the other nations in the end, the 2/3. But even when it's bad for the 2/3, it's still going to be good for them. Because whether they realize it or not, they're going to see the downfall of Esau's system. So that's a win for all of us, whether you make it or not on the first go-around.
Right.
Think about it. It's a residual. It's going to pay off later on. Little by little.
It says, therefore also now, saith the Lord Yahweh, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting.
Yeah, turn to the Most High with all your heart and with fasting, because we understand what's getting ready to happen. I mean, is what we're seeing on the news real, or is what we're reading in the Bible real? You know what I mean?
They coincide.
Exactly. Because we're reading Bible prophecy that goes into the destruction of Babylon the Great, the end of the world. And when I say the world, I mean the end of Esau's system, the end of his rulership.
So therefore also now, saith the Lord Yahweh, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning. And rend your heart, and not your garments.
So get right. Get right while you still can.
and turn unto the Lord your power, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil.
So the Most High is merciful. So yeah, I said earlier how the 2/3 of Israelites are going to be destroyed. But the bright side is that they're Israelites, so they're going to come back in the reincarnation in the kingdom. However, they're going to be in their right minds.
Right. Continue.
That's it.
I think so. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So it goes to show you how wicked and terrible it's about to get out here. We're not fear-mongering. This is prophecy.
Yeah, what he just read is going into Jacob's trouble.
It says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Yeah, so we're at the end of this. I mean, there's no way that this kingdom is going to go on another 10 or 20 years. I mean, I don't see it.
Right.
I don't see it. So, the Most High, he has to come deliver his elect. He has to. Because if you let Esau have his way, then everybody's going to be under his system. The way things is looking, you're either going to end up dead, in jail, or, like I said, under Esau's system, which coincides with you having to submit to the MOTB.
Or just living off the radar somewhere in the woods or something.
Yeah, that too, homeless.
Those are really your only options.
So you got 4 choices. And really none of them are sustainable.
Right.
Because, I mean, how long are we going to be homeless or in the wilderness? How long are we going to be wasting away in jail?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Put me to death. I'll come back.
Yeah, the kid. Because you know the old saying, death before dishonor. So it's like, you got to be willing to accept death before you sell your soul.
But these Babylonians, they don't have a grasp of what death really is. We have that grasp of what it really is. So it's not going to be that big a deal. We're not going to want to die, but it's better than getting that mark in you.
Yeah. And it might seem so far-fetched right now because it's business as usual.
Exactly.
You still wake up, you go to work every day. You go to the store and get some food. But the time is going to come where it's like every way that you know and how to live is going to shift. That's when you're going to have to make a decision.
And that's why, we meditate on it daily. We're really trying to prepare our minds for what's about to go down. Because people are unequipped. So as soon as, because the shift could really happen at the drop of a dime. It could all happen in one day, just like that. And people are going to be lost.
Yeah, and then we're hearing rumors about a potential civil war. You see what's going on over there in the UK?
Yep.
You see how they rioting and looting stores and stuff like that? They was doing that in Venezuela because they believed that the election was fake over there in Venezuela. So they got upset and started rioting and things of that sort. So it's gonna come to Babylon. It's gonna come to America, believe it or not.
That's one thing about these other places, though. They're not like these Americans. These Americans, they're so docile. You could just do anything in their face, and they're not gonna do anything about it.
Yeah, because these Americans have taken so much for so long. So at what point is it gonna give? When are they gonna get tired of all this stuff that's going on within society? All this unbalance. You know what I mean? I mentioned earlier how they spend taxpayers' money on wars that really have nothing to do with us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right. But there's people here that's living in the streets, poor, no health care, nothing.
That ain't right.
And they've been here forever. To think, America went to war over a 2% tax, and now look at how they do to people here now. They tax you left and right. You can't do nothing without getting taxed.
2%, that's light compared to what it is now.
I believe that's what the Boston Tea Party was over, 2% tax. But now these people, they're so docile and dumbed down now. You can do whatever you want to them, and they just gonna go on about their day.
Yeah, because they thought it was eerily similar to what they was going through over there in Great Britain. It was like the whole point of us leaving there and coming here was to escape taxation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or oppression. But slowly but surely, this country turned into what they said that they didn't want it to be, what they didn't intend for it to be. The founding fathers, they would be rolling in their graves right now. I mean, let's be honest. And I read memoirs and quotes of them warning about this sort of stuff happening, and lo and behold, here we are. Look how we living. The Federal Reserve, they control the money, they print all the money that they want. So people wonder why inflation is where it's at now. I mean, what do you think is going to happen when you have a fiat currency that's not backed by anything? And you're struggling living paycheck to paycheck. The price of living is going up while your wages is not going up. So like I said, at what point is this going to give? When are people going to lose it?
When you really understand money, it's not that the price of items is necessarily going up. It's just your dollar doesn't get you as much as it used to.
Right. Because you used to be able to buy a house, and it sounds crazy now. You used to be able to buy a house for like 15 grand at one point. What, in like the 40s?
Back then?
In the 50s? Matter of fact, Google that. Look up the price of a house back in like the 1940s. I already know it's not going to be nowhere near to what it costs now.
What was the price of a house in the 1940s? In 1940, without adjusting for inflation, the average cost of a home in the United States was $2,938, according to the United States Census Bureau.
Oh, so you could have got something nice for 10 grand, 12,000.
Let me continue. It says the inflation adjusted price in 2024 dollars would make that $372.84.
Which you can't buy shit with that now.
When compared to 1940, today's prices are 21.91 times as high as the average price 80 years ago.
So the amount of money you would spend for a down payment now in the house, it would have got you a house back then. Straight up, you wouldn't have had to owe nothing.
$2,000, $3,000 down payment on a house today, that ain't shit.
So that lets you know that the value of the dollar has gone down little by little.
Year to year. Can I read this real quick?
Yeah, keep going.
That was it on that. It says, I googled what was the Boston Tea Party tax. It says the act granted the East Indian Company a monopoly on the sale of tea that was cheaper than smuggled tea. Its hidden purpose was to force the colonists to pay a tax of 3 pennies on every pound of tea. So we was going to war over pennies. And you know, each pound, you know, it accumulates. But that's nothing compared to the day. If I go into the store over here, they're gonna tax me when I go in there to buy something. I get my paycheck, they taxing me on that. You get taxed everywhere you look here, for everything.
Yeah, if you check your pay stub, you'll see how much money you're really missing.
Shit is crazy.
How much money you gotta pay in taxes.
If you had, imagine like you got your paycheck and you didn't, that money that they take out in taxes, you got to keep. You'd be like, oh, all right, that's not so bad. Like, that's all right.
All I can think about is how, like, it's not right that so-called blacks in this country are taxed, because when you look at history, black Americans are the only ones that never received reparations. They never got nothing. So what they gave Jake after they so-called freed them by the Emancipation Proclamation, they gave him sharecropping, which is pretty much the same system as slavery.
Right.
I learned all this in school.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if they still teaching American history in the school system now. I don't know what they teach.
I'm sure they do. It's in the curriculum, probably.
The reason why I say that is because, what do they call it? An anti-woke agenda now.
I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I forget. But they're pretty much trying to like rewrite history or like erase it.
It's something theory. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So that goes to show you how Esau is ashamed of his past to some degree, because they know that what they've done and what they continue to do to people is not right. It's not righteous. So America has a judgment coming. You know, every great empire has fallen. When you look back at history, Greek Empire, Roman Empire, they all had their run. They had a good run. And the same thing goes for America.
This is the last leg of it. After this is it.
Exactly. So live it up. Enjoy yourself for as long as you can. Or better yet, repent.
Right.
Because this place's days is numbered.
This is Isaiah 44. I'm gonna start at the 26th verse. Actually, start at the 25th verse. It says, that frustrateth the tokens of the liars, and maketh that diviners mad, that turneth wise men backwards, and maketh their knowledge foolish. That confirmeth the word of his servants, and performeth the counsel of his messengers. That saith to Jerusalem, thou shalt be inhabited, and to the cities of Judah ye shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof.
And raise up the decayed places thereof. So, if you think about it spiritually, we're decayed people. On the physical side, we're gonna get our lands and then some. We're gonna get the entire world, the universe. You know what I mean?
So this is Psalms chapter 4, verse 2. It says, O ye sons of men, how long will you turn my glory into shame? How long will ye love vanity and seek after leasing? Selah. You see, we've really just been brought to shame here in America. That was really the point of America, was to just punish, you know, the Israelites. Because really, these people here, they really love vanity, especially these women.
Yeah, because our people are pretty much acting like heathens.
For real.
They're in a heathenistic mindset. You know, Sunday will roll by, you see all these people getting ready to go to church. Which the church is pretty much a graveyard. You're not gonna learn nothing.
Let's go to Galatians. This is Galatians. I'm gonna start at the chapter 3. I'm gonna start at the 6th verse. Even as Abraham believed the Most High, and it was accounted for him righteousness. Know ye therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham. And the scripture foreseeing that the Most High would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying,
Wait. So that means the heathens is gonna make it?
yeah.
The other nations, they're gonna make it?
Right.
Read that and then get 2 Corinthians. I'll get it.
So then they which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, cursed is every one that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
Yeah, so you gotta keep the entire law in theory, but we know that like it's impossible for us to do that in this kingdom. So that's where grace and faith and Mashiach Yahweh Shai comes from.
Yeah, this is the Apostle Paul right into the Galatians.
And ultimately, we are going to keep the whole law perfectly once we're under the new covenant, because that's really the whole point of the new covenant. once we're under the new covenant, then it's like we're gonna be right. We're gonna be smooth, steady.
This is Galatians. This is the New Testament. So it goes to show you it's not so much about the law, but more so of faith. That doesn't mean you can just do away with the law, but it's more so on your faith.
Because if Israelites' whole message and memo is pushing the law this, the law that, then it's like, it's really kind of a red flag.
Yeah, you doomed now. You got that?
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 10:1.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea.
Yeah, so that's talking about the Exodus. You know how the Most High, what was it? A pillar of fire by night and a cloud by day, right?
I know this story.
Yeah, you know the story of the Exodus. So yeah, that's talking about the Israelites. They was the ones who left Egypt. So that's what Paul's talking about. He's talking about the Israelites. Keep going.
Said, and 1 Corinthians 10:3, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Yahushua. But with many of them the Most High was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written.
Yes, so that's why the Most High called the Israelites heathens, because they became idolaters. They went off the path of righteousness, and they started worshiping other gods. That's it on that. Now get 1 Corinthians chapter 12.
This is the first verse. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. Ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led.
So we know who the brethren are. The brethren that Paul's talking about is the Israelites. So the Israelites, like I said before, started worshiping idols. And they became Gentiles in the mind.
It says, wherefore I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Spirit of the Most High calleth Yahushua accursed, and that no man can say that Yahushua is the Lord, but by the Holy Spirit.
Right.
Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are differences of administration, but the same Lord. Yeah, and that goes into the order. You know, say if there's a body, you know, there's a head, and then you have, you know, the men under him. But at the end of the day, we're all operating under the same Spirit. We may just all have different gifts, but it's all under the same Spirit, the Holy Spirit. It says, and there are diversities of operations, but it is the same power which worketh all in all.
Right. So everybody's got their own gift. I mean, shoot, I'm watching the Olympics. I've been watching the Olympics lately, have you?
Nah, I just seen clips.
So you see the gifts and the greatness of Israelites, things. You know, more than likely they don't know that they're Israelites and that they're participating in the Olympics, which really goes back to the Greco-Roman Empire, right? Which that's a whole
It's a lesson itself.
That's a whole lesson in of itself of history.
I seen a video of that shorty, she was calling ass. I was like, damn, how'd she even do that? That dark skin shorty, I think she was Irish. So it lets you know she's an Israelite. That's in the Corinthians or keep
that's it. You got a precept?
This is back Galatians chapter 3, verse 11. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of the Most High. It is evident, for the just shall live by faith. And the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them.
Yeah, so if you're gonna say like, yeah, keep the law this, the law that, then you're pretty much relinquishing your faith in Hamashiach Yahushua.
But then it's like, why do I need a savior?
Yeah, because you got to understand the balance between the two. Because that was a problem with the Israelites back then. They didn't want to accept that we needed a savior. You know what I mean? Everybody just wanted to be the man. They have their own separate sect, their own church, and they would just be the man. You know what I mean? So when Yahushua comes on the scene, the Bible says how we're all supposed to submit to him. We're supposed to worship him, basically, give him praise. So you had certain Israelites that didn't want to get down with that program. That's why they sold them down the line to the Roman Empire. They were saying like, yeah, get him, put him on the cross.
Free Barabbas. That's the same spirit you got here on the earth today. Galatians 3 and 13, Yahushua hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Yahushua, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith.
So that's talking about the Israelites. The promise.
That's heavy.
When you read Romans 9, it talks about the promise in Romans 4. The kingdom of heaven. It's talking about the brethren, the brothers, the Israelites.
Read that again. This is Galatians 3 and 14. It says that the blessings of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Yahushua, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. And it's all about faith. And it's funny how it's talking about the Gentiles, but Abraham at one point was a Gentile. You know, he wasn't born into the faith. You know, he grew in the faith just like we did. But ultimately, it's because he was born through the spirit of faith. That's
like, if you want to be technical, Abraham wasn't an Israelite. Because Israelite comes from, yeah, it started with Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob. So it really started with like Jacob. 12 tribes, you know what I mean?
Because even in the scriptures it tells you how Abraham was a Gentile.
He was an Israelite, but he wasn't called. He wasn't called an Israelite at the time.
Right.
It's like a name.
That's it on that. Gotta reset. Or I can keep going. This is the list. Galatians chapter 3 verse 15 says, Brethren, I speak after the manner of men, though it be but a man's covenant. Yet if it be confirmed, no man disannulleth or addeth thereto. Now to Abraham and his seed where the promise is made, he saith not, and to seed as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Yahushua.
Yep. I got a piece of second Maccabees 1 and 2.
2 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 2. The Most High be gracious unto you, and remember his covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his faithful servants.
So the Most High, he's going to remember his covenant and his promise that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because that's the chosen lineage, the bloodline.
Israelites.
Yeah.
Right. You too.
Respect. What was the last thing he said?
It's a respect. I don't know what he said before that.
You look like a Trini.
You think so?
You sound like it. He said respect. They don't really talk like that. Sure. Probably a coolie though. You look like an Indian.
Maybe. He also look like 10 tribes.
Respect. 10 tribes don't talk like that.
Right. This is I'll read it again. 2 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 2 says, the Most High be gracious unto you, and remember his covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his faithful servants, and give you all in heart to serve him, and to do his will with a good courage and a willing mind.
So let's talk about the Israelites, alright? So that's what we're supposed to do. That's our lot on this earth. However, we're not all on the same page right now. We still got our people walking around in a heathenistic mindset, calling themselves black, calling themselves
Salvadorian,
Native American. You know, you can go on and on with those bywords, those labels of people.
That's the thing though. I noticed like with 10 tribes, they take a pride in being whatever it is that they are. You know, Puerto Rican, Salvadorian, what have you. But Jake is not really that same thing. Because it's like we don't really know who we are. I mean, they don't either. They think they know, but we really don't have nothing to go off of but these scriptures.
And then, speaking about the Salvadorians, their president, you know what he said about how the U.S. runs? He said how pretty much all fiat currencies come to an end. You know, the Federal Reserve can print all the money that they want. So what is really the point of America's paying taxes? You know, you're paying taxes into a system that really doesn't benefit you at the end of the day.
Really just a number on the screen.
Yep. So he said how you see the formation of BRICS. Yo, the entire world is pretty much going to cross over to the system of the BRICS. Because their goal is to come out with a form of money that's backed by physical commodities. But the thing is, it's going to be digital at the same time. So it'll go digital, but it'll be backed by something physical as well.
There's not going to be no BRICS bucks.
Because that's every country's dream to track, you know, the people that they govern on. That's every country's dream. So that means that you won't be able to get around paying taxes. The government's gonna know if you're conspiring against them. You know what I mean?
No shoebox money, no mattress money. They taxing everything. You know, now you can get $1 without the government knowing. But once they implement the MOTB, it's over for all of that. You drug dealers, y'all through. Y'all strippers, y'all through.
Yeah, because every country's intent now is to jump ship and get rid of the U.S. dollar. And if you ask me, that's being done by design.
Of course.
Because they understand that this is a sinking ship, and they can no longer keep this up. You know, how are you gonna keep printing all this endless amount of money, and then expect it to be beneficial for the people?
Continue in second Maccabees.
So, I mean, it's a perfect plan. Dump the U.S. dollar, get rid of it, come out with a new system, new digital currency, and have another country be the world leading power. Because America can no longer do it. You know, America in the past has had the military, oil, and really, yeah, that's it, right? So what does America have left?
Yeah, they don't really have much. They just go other places, taking other people's resources. Strong army.
So if these countries don't want to trade oil with the U.S. dollar, then what are you going to say to them? How are you going to stop them? I mean, you were successful doing that back in the day when they, what was his name, Gaddafi? They took him out because he had a plan of to stop trading in USD for oil, and they took him out. So it's like now that you got multiple countries all on the same page trying to achieve that, the U.S. is done. They can't stand up against that. So now it's going to be about who's going to end up on top, or who's going to end up the least unscathed when all this shit comes crashing down. All in the midst of a world war that's about to pop off.
And civil war.
And I'm hearing all these rumors about civil war. I mean, shit, we don't know what's going to pop off within the next few months. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully. So get ready for that mentally if it does happen.
Hopefully it's in a few months.
If it does happen within the next few months.
Got a precept.
Because that's not much time left then. Because in theory, if there was to be a civil war, like if you was to consolidate it in a time frame, we're talking right around the election time, so November or January. So that's not much time left. So that's why I keep on saying it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen within the next coming weeks, months, or maybe the next year or two. We'll see how far this thing goes.
So we can do is wait.
Yeah.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 6. We'll start the 17th verse. It says, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches.
Nor trust in uncertain riches. So I hear also how the real estate market is about to tank, is going down. You heard how the stock market crashed too, right? So it's like people are saying, well, this is a time to buy. You got to buy at a low price, and in 2 years from now, then you'll be up. But how do you know you're gonna still be around 2 years from now to collect on your dividends, collect on your profits?
It's like commercial real estate. That shit is over with now. That's done for.
Yeah, I drive around. And I see all these signs talking about office space for available for rent.
Yup. Brand new buildings.
Realty company this, realty company that. Oh, for sale sign. Office space for rent. You know why? It's because the economy is not doing good.
And people work from home now. Ever since the P. Diddy, people want to work from home now. You can't get people. The people are willing to take less money to work from home than to actually go into the office.
Yeah, because no longer do you have to commute to work every day, and you could just
save money on gas.
Save money on gas and work from home.
You're not buying lunch while you're out working. You can eat what you got at home.
And that's part of the struggle. That's part of the grind. Is your commute to work every day.
For real. That's half the battle, just getting there.
The way there and the way home.
Yup.
And on top of that, what you got to do while you're there for 8 hours, 8+ hours.
See, Esau, that's Esau though. That's what he gets. He did it to himself. Fake ass, P. Diddy, now backfired on him.
So it's like we're in a slave system. That's pretty much what capitalism is, because capitalism doesn't function without people that have and without people that don't have.
I was meditating on that. I was meditating on that today, like how people, they'll look down on somebody who say, like, the sanitation worker, the guy who comes twice a week to come get your garbage. People will look down on him, but they'll revere a doctor just based on his title. But it's all an ecosystem. We need him just as much as we need, say, a doctor, you could say. It's not like one is better than the other. It's all an ecosystem.
The medical system in this country is not what you think it is. I'll say it like that.
Yeah, that shit is fugazi.
So you can easily get got or taken advantage of if you don't know how to maneuver.
So,
Because we all need doctors.
do we though? I mean, I understand like a trauma doctors and all of that, but like your primary care physician, like I feel like you could tell when something's wrong with you. That's probably what you go there for. You get your diagnosis and see what's up, see what they got to say about it.
Yeah, but it's like every now and then you gotta go see a doctor, whether it's traumatic injury or whether like you wanna see how your blood is doing. You wanna see if you're missing any vitamins or minerals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we're not getting the proper nutrition we're supposed to get with the food that we eat anyway.
Right.
So it's like in this country you really gotta stay on top of your health. Your health is wealth. I mean shit, we don't got much else, so the least we can do is be healthy.
Right.
They're saying now that $100,000 a year is like the new 50K. So if you make 100K, you're really like middle class. Where in the past that used to be like what?
That's
Middle
upper
class?
middle class, yes.
That ain't really upper middle class no more.
Shit. Say if you make $100,000 a year, but you pay $2,500 a month. Shit, how much is that right there? So that goes to show you this economy is on a downturn.
And then check this out. People got their vices. They got their things that they do to keep going. Whether it be them drinking coffee every day or whether it be them drinking an energy drink. Which the energy drink leads to health problems. Which the health problems leads to financial pit that you're going to be in. Which that can also lead to death. Because then you're all stressed out with the mind ain't right, the body ain't right. So it's like on top of everything you got to deal with in this society, you know, I say the least we can do is be healthy.
Yeah, like they say people like that own like, well not own, but like have apartments and stuff like that. It's like you use 50% of your yearly income just on a roof over your head. That's crazy.
You wouldn't have to do that if you had your own land.
That's crazy.
If you had your acres. So that's why I say that we're under a capitalist system that keeps us enslaved. Because the minute you go off the grid or you leave the matrix, you don't want to work anymore, then pretty much you starve, you die. Because it's not like you got anything else to fall back on unless you got land. And then if you do got that land, you got to pay taxes on it.
But you're not working, so you can't afford the taxes. So now that all the time you was paying your taxes, they was getting that money. Now they take your land from you, and now they just go sell it to somebody else and make money off of it. That's crazy. That's a scam.
So really, we're stuck in a bad deal.
We in bad shit.
So that's why the Most High gotta come get us, man. Because let Esau have his way, it's just gonna get worse and worse for us. You think it's bad now?
No flesh left to be saved. You let him have his way.
So that's why the Most High said for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. Because it's coming to the point now where you really can't survive out here on your own if you're not making a certain amount of money.
Tell you, imagine you make $60,000 a year, but you spend $35,000 of it just on a roof over your head. Like that's crazy. Like what are you gonna do with the rest? You still gotta eat, still gotta pay your other bills. It's like you through. Where was I? This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17. It says, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy, that they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate.
So if you got money, you know, you're supposed to be ready to pretty much give it away for charity.
Right.
You know, if you see somebody that's struggling or that's hurting, then you're supposed to help them out.
But that goes, but there's niggas in this world that are saying, and I've heard people say it like, it's my money. I don't have to. If I want to do it, I could, but it's not forced upon me to. No, you're supposed to help if you got it.
And this is a selfish ass world that we live in.
For real.
Because you'll see like food banks or food drives that are established. And you'll have some people that really don't even need that blessing. You know, trying to take other people's blessing. You know, because you got people that are really like homeless and down bad and struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, don't ever be too greedy. Don't get too greedy. Because the moment you do that, you lose your advantage.
Yeah,
You
people
know where
are.
that's from?
No.
That's from Snowfall. What was his name? Remember his plug? The dude he met in the very beginning. Hobby?
Oh, hobby.
Yeah, Hobby told him that. He's like, don't ever get too greedy, Franklin. Because the minute that you do, you lose your advantage. And what happened? Franklin got too greedy. He fell in love with money. There was nothing he wouldn't do to get his money.
That show was so crazy. Like, it's fire because they really showed you how he was, like, really fell in love with money. Like, he was literally spiraling
Yeah, like
for his money.
we don't give a shit about money.
Yeah, like,
because we know that it's not gonna save you at the end of the day.
yeah.
Unless say you do got all the money, you know, you're rich. You know, you're not Jacob. Like, yeah, I'm rich. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you're gonna have to cross over to the MLTV system. So the choice is going to be yours. And then what you're going to do when the dollar crashes, and then they come through with a new system. So it's like it's pointless at the end of the day to really be obsessed with money.
Yeah, it's really like, fuck this money on this side. I think you said it like a couple weeks ago. You was like, what I want for my brother, what I want for myself, I want for my brother, you know, something like that. So it's like, if I have all the money, but my brothers, they don't really have nothing.
What's
like,
the fun in that?
Yeah, what good is that? Like, I'd rather us all have it.
That's how it's gonna be in the kingdom. We all
Exactly.
gonna have it.
We're gonna have everything. We are going to want for nothing. But that doesn't seem to be enough for these people.
You see Jake, he gets millions of dollars. He might have an entourage that he supports. But you know, eventually the money's gonna dry up.
Yeah, he's gonna get a woman, he's gonna marry her, then she's gonna be like, who are these leeches? Then they're gonna have you looking at your people funny.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it goes here in Babylon.
And like I said before, it's like you really need to make a certain amount of money to like live comfortably in this country. Because the way things are now, it's like people are consolidating their living space. They might buy a house, you know, they might get a mortgage. But you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna move into the crib with their family. So you might move in with your brother. His brother might have a wife. You might have a wife. You might have some kids. You might have some kids. You know what I'm saying? You might even live with your parents. But is that really an ideal living situation? You know, we all supposed to have our own space, our own place if we want to raise a family.
Right.
So it's like we're really on third world country status. When you think about it, you ever heard of that new terminology, house poor? A lot of people are house poor, meaning all their money goes towards maintaining their home.
Yeah, I told you, half people's yearly income is just towards a roof over their head.
So if this is supposed to be the height of the American dream, then really we're living in a fucking nightmare.
For real, y'all want to keep this place going? Y'all gonna take that MOTV just for peanuts? That shit is ridiculous.
So like I said, we're on third world country status when you think about it, because the average American's not doing too good.
Yeah.
I heard another thing where it's like the average American, they can't afford to pay a random bill that pops up for like $1,000, $500. They got to put that on the credit card.
This is all by design. That's what they want you to do.
So what's up with that? I mean, how many jobs are there out there in the market that pay you 6 figures or not? Most jobs you find, they're gonna pay you like what, 30K, 40K?
That's why
you can't live off that.
That's why you gotta go get 2 and 3 of them.
Yep, that's why you gotta get multiple jobs. You gotta live in a box with hella niggas.
You got upstairs, you gotta rent out downstairs. That type of shit going on here.
Right. And then it's like, okay, yeah, you know, we all gotta come together. But at the same time, the way this culture is in this society, you know, people are selfish-minded.
That's not an ideal way of living.
People don't want to work together. People want to do their own thing. But you can't blame them, I guess.
That's not really an ideal way of living.
It's not.
Imagine you renting out your downstairs. You got your woman upstairs, his woman downstairs. Now y'all know each other's women and all that shit.
Your mother in the crib. You know, Pops died years ago. She left him. He died.
That goes to show you there's nothing left here. But you people are fighting so hard to keep what little you have.
There's nothing left here but struggle.
For real.
So this is not going to be 2008. It's not going to be another 2008 where you see the crash, everything goes down, and then, you know, it goes back up. No. And let's just say if it does go back up, it's going to go back up under the new system, the new CBDC system, which is going to consist of you having to submit to the MOTB, Revelation 13 and 16.
This is, I got precept. This is Jeremiah 51 and 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. And this place isn't going to be healed. This is it.
Yeah, this is it. Like, I don't see there being you capitalizing off the stock market crash and buying now, and then 2 years later, 4 years later, you know, you up now. I don't see that.
Babylon is one tap right now.
Because you know, mad people was panicking. Crypto crashed, Bitcoin went down, all of that. So they're saying that this is the early signs of a recession. Really, we're in a recession now, but they keep changing the terminology of it. I think it's supposed to be like 2 or 3 straight quarters of a negative GDP. I mean, it's been like that for years now.
Yeah.
Really, the recession should have been announced back in like 2020. Or 2021, and we all know what happened back in 2021. And the only thing that was putting a band-aid on it was all the aid that people was getting, all the unemployment that people was getting. So that sort of put a band-aid on the economy. You know, remember people was out there flexing.
Them loans.
Yeah, they was getting that money.
Them niggas, they ain't got nothing now. They ain't got nothing to show for all that money they had. They fucking, But what else can you do with money that you got like that? Like, you're not really gonna be able to build anything sustainable. So he really let you get that money so you can destroy yourself.
Give it right back to him.
Yep. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 18. It says that they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life.
Yeah, so you get a blessing when you help people out. You give them some money, you get a blessing for that.
People here, like, they really look down on, like, homeless people. Like, they treat them, like, bad. I remember there was this homeless guy, he was like, he didn't even ask me for money, he asked me for something to eat. I was going to get something to eat. And I was like, all right, we can go get something to eat. So we went inside to get something to eat. And while he was getting what he wanted, the people that was behind the register, they was like, he can't be in here. I was like, what you mean? He was like, he can't be in here. And I was just like, whatever. And he just ordered what he wanted. And he just stayed there and I paid for it, whatever. And I was like, and I was left, I was like, damn, that's fucked up. Like, how they just treat people.
Yeah, you see how that works. So the way I see it, homeless people are pretty much the people that left the matrix. They left the workforce. They didn't want to work for peanuts and still be in the negative. Free now. You can get yourself a minimum wage job, but what are you going to be able to afford off a minimum wage job?
Nothing. Just food, maybe. Not no good food either.
So you working 5 days a week, 40 hours, and you pretty much sacrificing the majority of your time to make peanuts?
There's no reason why people should work, people are able to work full time, but they can't have their basic necessities. Like, there's no reason for that.
Like I said, the number of six-figure paying jobs ain't going up. It's going down.
What percentage of people make 6 figures, realistically?
And what percentage of people make 6 figures that are in the black community? Think about that too.
Exactly.
But that's why they all want us fighting against one another, divide and conquer tactics. Really, we all supposed to come together and recognize who our enemy is. And that's why society keeps us entertained and docile. That's why you got watching the Olympics, which the Olympics really goes back to idolatry, because it goes back to the Greco-Roman Empire. That's where you get the rings from. Which I'm pretty sure the rings go back to Saturn, because we had people that used to worship Saturn, which was associated with Egyptian gods and Greek gods. When you look under the hood into your history, your research. So it gets deep. I like the Olympics though. It's interesting to see.
Start at the first verse. This is Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Yeah, it goes to show you, a woman will be a home wrecker, destroying her home.
Oh yeah, read that again in the top.
So, Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1. Because every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
Yeah, because the woman will separate the family, throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to say, if she finds out that the man is creeping or has a side piece, or if she finds out that the dude is broke. He loses it all. He lost his job. He don't got no more money. He's in a bad space.
You don't even take all that. She just want to commit adultery because she feel like it. It don't always got anything to do with the man. These women are just loose.
So it's like we understand the caliber of women that are available nowadays, and it's not looking too good. You can't build families with these women.
It says, "He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord Yahweh, but he that is perverse in his ways despiseth him. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them."
Yeah, so
I'm gonna jump down.
I mean, really, a lot of people are walking around in a foolish mindset. That's the majority of people. So that's why I said earlier, you gotta understand who your enemy is. Because if you understand who your enemy is, then you understand how to operate in this world. And if you understand how to operate in this world, then you know not to really expect much out of this life that we live now. The problem with relationships nowadays is that people have high, unrealistic expectations. There's no loyalty. There's no honor. So it's like if you destroy the family system, then people really have no motivation to build families. Which is, if you can't build families, then really that leaves a lot of us out here to cease to exist. You know what I'm saying? Next that ain't but the problem with finances, and you just have yourself a problem. You have yourself a problem with the culture.
It's all systematic. This isn't just by coincidence. I'm going to jump down. This is Proverbs chapter 14, verse 8. It says, "The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and the stranger doeth not intermeddle with his joy. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish."
We can't wait until the house of the wicked is over. Esau and his entire system, because this is no way for us to live. Why we gotta live in struggle? You know what I'm saying?
Like, I really wake up and pray on the downfall of this place. Because if it was up to us, we would have been out of here. But you goddamn people, y'all just hanging on. Y'all gonna go out November, y'all gonna go out and vote, trying to keep this society hanging on a thread rather than just letting it collapse. Imagine if everybody in America was just like, yo, I'm done with this. I'm tired of it. I've never seen any growth. I never got any benefit from voting. You know what? I'm done with this.
You want to know what plan that I forgot about? Remember how Trump got indicted? He got hella felonies now. They might just let him take the election. He might just win.
I can see either one of them winning.
And then they'll be like, no, he doesn't qualify because he incited a riot on January 6th. You know what I mean? I heard about that. I saw a video some brother put up. And they said that they might take away his win by way of the I think it's the 14th Amendment. Don't quote me on that, but it's one of the amendments that they're gonna look under the law and find a reason to revoke his win.
They do that.
Revoke his win.
There's definitely gonna be civil war. His people are gonna be out there raging for
Yeah,
it.
so that's another way that can go down. I mean, there's so many ways and avenues. Like, we gotta wait and see how
All
it
we can
plays out.
do is wait and see.
We gotta see. Because when you read 2nd Ezra 15 and 2nd Ezra 16, it talks about how people are gonna be rioting, fighting against one another. So that sounds like civil war to me. So that entire chapter, you know, 2nd Ezra 16 and also 2nd Ezra 15, you gotta see how that plays out too.
You got friends turning on friends. That's civil war for you. But
And that January 6th incident, that's gonna be nothing. That was just a cakewalk. That was practice for if there really is going to be that type of event, but on a large scale. You know, people really can't even fathom that.
it's gonna be state to state.
Remember we went and saw that movie Civil War, you know? We saw how that was going.
You know?
Because the Edomites, they really want to preserve their country. They don't want to see it go down. They like the American way. They think it's okay to love this lifestyle. What are we holding on to?
I'm saying.
I mean, you see all these illegal migrants coming in, you know, taking all these low-level entry jobs that pay you practically nothing. It's like, that's what you want to hold on to? That's their way of life? Like, I don't really understand these people, man. Complaining about the borders being wide open. Well, if it wasn't for immigrants, then America wouldn't even have gotten as far as it did. And if it wasn't for slavery, America wouldn't be what it is.
That's for sure.
So what are these people's points?
This is Proverbs 14 and 12. 12. It says, there is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Even in laughter the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The simple believe every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going.
Yeah, so it said a good man shall be satisfied from himself. So pretty much you're living off your own expectations, and your expectations, you know, are kept low. You know what I'm saying? You appreciate the little things in life because you know in this society, you're never really gonna live it up the way that you want to. You know?
Nothing's promised here.
Nothing's promised you. That's why you gotta wait for the kingdom of heaven and put your trust in that. Because that's when you're gonna get the real riches. That's when you're gonna get the real family structure, the real food, the real land that you don't gotta pay taxes on. So anyway, with that, we're gonna close. Shalom.
Shalom.